Peter went up to Jesus and said, Lord, how often must I forgive my brother if he wrongs me? As often as 7 times? Which we have this morning from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 18, 21. The Bible didn't tell us actually why Peter went to Jesus and asked that very important question. Maybe Peter was struggling with forgiveness. Maybe somebody has wronged him often and often again. Maybe he has been forgiven and he was getting tired. So he needed some guidance, he needed some clarifications. And he went to Jesus to ask, how often should I be doing this? No matter the reason that prompted Peter to ask that question to seek for that clarification, the point is that Peter's question has become our question today. How often should I forgive you? How often should I let it go? How often should I overlook your offense? How often should I tolerate you? How often should you keep hurting me and I keep forgiving? How often also are you disposed to overlook my mess, to forgive me? How ready are you? How much can you do? As we wrote in the newsletter, when is enough actually enough? And you could say, I have had it here, no more. When Peter went to Jesus, he was actually generous. Because when he went to him, he said to him 7 times. That was a very generous suggestion. I tell you honestly, without the teaching of Jesus Christ, I don't think that would be my peak. I wouldn't suggest 7 times. From my culture, it is usually 3 times. The first time, I would consider it a mistake, and I overlook it. The second time, I will look at it as coincidence. The third time, no, I cannot strike. But Peter went to Jesus and said 7 times. And Jesus said, no, Peter, not 7 times. 77 times, meaning you don't need to keep record of how many times you have forgiven. It's not necessary. Just keep forgiving. So don't count it. Don't keep record. Keep forgiving. Keep going. Indeed, one of the most challenging aspects of our Christianity is not coming to Mass every Sunday. It's not helping the poor. It is about forgiving. And not just forgiving. Jesus was so emphatic, he said, forgiving from the heart. Not just lips forgiveness. And it has become so difficult and more challenging because our society, our universe, has built a system that has made it difficult even for the society to forgive. People struggle with forgiveness, including the preacher. And they have reasons why they find it difficult to forgive. Number one, they will tell you, how can I forgive someone who has wronged me, who has hurt me, and has not shown any remorse? No apology, not at all. No acknowledgement that he has done something wrong to me. There's no sign that he is even living with the fact that he has done something wrong to me. He's going about his life as if nothing happened. So I'm not going to forgive until he apologizes to me, until he acknowledges that he's done something wrong to me. That is the logic, and it is quite reasonable. You wait for apology before you forgive. You wait for the offender to acknowledge that he has done something wrong to you. You wait for him to show some kind of remorse. That is, I said, that is systematic, that is logical, that is reasonable. But when you forgive, who is the first beneficiary of your forgiveness? It's not the offender, it is you. So when you forgive me, I am not the first beneficiary of your forgiveness. You are the first and the primary beneficiary of that forgiveness you are giving to me. Because when you forgive, you release yourself. You see, holding grudges doesn't make us better. It makes us bitter. Forgiveness doesn't make us weak. It sets us free. If I hurt you and you are waiting for me to apologize before you let it go, before you forgive me, what happens is that I'll begin to control your happiness, your emotional disposition, and your Will I say also your disposition? If you are shouting and having a good time with your friend, and I suddenly show up, what happens? You look at me and say, your countenance will change immediately because you have seen the man who wronged you and has not apologized. I will irritate you immediately because you have seen a man who wronged you and has not shown remorse. So at that moment, I am controlling you. The moment you let it go, even without apology, that is the moment you begin to set yourself free. So if you don't forgive me, if I don't forgive you, we are holding ourselves as prisoners of that emotional and psychological context. Yesterday I was speaking with my niece. She did something wrong 2 days ago. So when we were talking yesterday afternoon, I said to her, actually, this is what you did. They are wrong. They are not right. They are wrong. She said, Uncle, is that why you have been so cold towards me? I said, yes. She said, okay, is that it? I said, yeah, that is it. And then we continue with our telephone conversation. Towards the end of that telephone conversation, I said to her, but come, Jane, you have not apologized for what I said you did. And she said to me, Uncle, are you really waiting for my apology? And I'm asking you the same question. Are you waiting for the apology before you forgive? Are you waiting for him to acknowledge that he has done something? There are people you will wait for the apology and you wait forever. So it is left for you to set yourself free. When she said that to me, I ended that conversation. I said to myself, there's no need waiting for this apology. Let it go. Secondly, people find it difficult to forgive a serial offender. Somebody who keeps hurting you, somebody who keeps making you sad, and comes back to say, I'm sorry, no, sorry. And after each apology, he does it again. After each apology, he does it again. At the point you say, I am tired of forgiving. You keep doing the same thing and you keep apologizing. And you keep repeating it. You are hurting me and you know that. So I can't just keep forgiving a serial offender. I think he's doing it knowingly just for me to feel sad. It is difficult to forgive such a person. And how do you deal with it? And why must I forgive a serial offender? Because you have to forgive a serial offender because when Jesus talks about forgiveness, he didn't make an exemption. He didn't say, these are the categories of people you're going to forgive. Don't forgive someone who keeps hurting you. No, he didn't make an exception of those you're going to forgive and those you're not going to forgive. You can also forgive a serial offender and build certain maybe mechanism or boundaries or something that will protect you from being hurt again by that serial offender and protect your friendship and also protect your heart. For example, if I keep telling you stuff about me, and whenever I say something about me to you, share it with you, you go out and share with your friends. And you come back and say, sorry, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. I say, okay. Next time you do it, sorry, I forgive you. If I see that you are hurting me from this, and I want to protect our friendship, and also to protect you from hurting me again and again, what do? I select things I tell you, so that when you share such thing out, it doesn't bother me again. So I can also build boundaries, mechanisms that will protect me from a serial offender without destroying our friendship and also helping him from hurting me seriously. Finally, people always say, what he did to me is horrible. I can't just come to terms with it, so it is not for me to forgive him. I will leave it to God. God is saying today, don't leave it for me. It is your call. You need to forgive. I have got my own to do, so you have got your job to do. Don't shift the responsibility to God. You're going to forgive him yourself, and God will deal with your forgiveness. Don't leave it to God. So, dear friends, are you hurting? Has someone wounded your heart? Are you carrying along hurts, ill feelings, because no apology has been given to you or rendered, no acknowledgement of the offense, no sign of remorse? Is she a serial offender? How are you going to do it? How are you going to manage it? The first reading of today says, remember, we are all human beings. We are capable of hurting one another. So when you hold back your forgiveness, certainly I am presenting myself as superhuman. But when I understand that we are all human beings and we have the capacity to hurt one another, it helps to let go. And that is why when we come to Mass, the first thing after the greetings, the first thing we do is we always confess our capacity to hurt. I confess to Almighty God and to you, my brothers and sisters, that I'm capable of hurting you. We acknowledge our humanness, that I can also hurt you, and I have done that. So the first thing to understand when you are dealing with hurt is to please understand that we are all humans. Maybe if the table is to be turned around, I might be a worse offender to you. Finally, when Peter was dealing with was struggling with forgiveness, he didn't keep it to himself. He went to his master to say, this guy has been hurting me, and I've been forgiving him. I think 7 times is okay. And Jesus said, no, Peter, 7 times is not okay. Keep doing it. Take your heart to him. I'm so sure that when we show him our inability to forgive, he will tell us what to do, as he said to Peter 7 times. I don't know what he's going to say to you when you come to him with your inability to forgive. But I know at the end of that conversation, if you're open enough to say like Peter, how often should I do this? We give you an answer that will bring peace to your soul, that will give you strength to move on and reason to let go.